Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is Shafaq Imtiaz, your biology teacher. I hope you're all doing well. We were doing our second chapter, solving a biological problem. We had done biological method and two biological problems. First problem was what is the cause of malaria, and second problem was how is plasmodium transmitted to human beings. We discussed these two problems as examples of biological method. Then we discussed about theory, law, and principle. Today we will discuss how biologists draw conclusions of the experiments they perform, or how researchers do their research work, or the role of mathematics in science projects, and the discovery of quinine. So let's get to work. Our first topic is data organization and data analysis. Let me first tell you about data, and then step by step we will go through the whole process of organizing and analyzing the data. Data is collected information in the form of numbers, names, dates, values, etc. Biologists collect data when they are solving a biological problem. You have studied the method, so do you have any clue at which step of biological method do biologists record data? Biologists record the data during experimentation. After performing experiments, they organize the data in the form of graphs, tables, flowcharts, maps, or diagrams. Organizing the data means putting it to a meaningful form. If a biologist wants to know the total count of malarial patients in Peshawar, then he will start recording the data from each hospital in Peshawar. The total number of malarial patients in Peshawar will be the sum of the total number of patients in all hospitals in Peshawar. This data will be organized in the form of a table. Next step is analysis of the data. Data analyzation completes in two steps. First step is ratio and second is proportion. Ratio is the relationship between two quantities of same kind. For example, ratio between two numbers, ratio between girls and boys, or two different fruits. Like if we have 5 apples and 15 oranges, then the ratio will be 5:15 or 1:3 because we have 1 part apples and 3 parts oranges. So either we will write the original number or just parts. Proportion means joining two equal ratios to draw a result of analysis. Here we have a formula for equalizing two ratios. A ratio B equals C ratio D. We have A and D as extreme ratios, means they are far from the central values, and B and C as mean ratios, means the central one. The product of mean is equal to the product of extreme. If we know any three values in above, fourth value can be found by using this formula. If we have 30 fever patients in a hospital and we test them for malaria and get 9 malaria positive, then how many patients will be suffering from malaria if 20 patients are tested in another hospital? Here we have the formula A ratio B equals C ratio D. First, we will put values in the formula. Our first ratio will be 9:30 in place of C ratio D. In the second ratio, we have B as 20 patients. We need to find value of A in A ratio B. So, by cross multiplication and then by multiplying and dividing, we will get our answer as 6 malaria positive patients. Here we have another example. If Culex mosquito is allowed to bite 10 sparrows, out of which 6 sparrows get malaria, then how many sparrows will get malaria if Culex mosquito is allowed to bite 50 sparrows? Here you are given the formula to put values in, and you have to solve this problem by yourself. As you have studied that mathematics has a great role to play during data organization and analysis, mathematics helps not only biologists but all the experts from other sciences to carry out research projects and to draw conclusions by applying different mathematical rules according to their problem. It also helps in population study, drug study, or sequencing of plants and animals' DNA. A population study is the study of group of people sharing common characters like age, gender, diseases, etc. Drug study is the study of testing a new drug on a group of people. DNA sequencing is the process of determining the order of subunits of DNA in its structure. It's a story of 17th century when malaria was a major disease in Europe. When America was discovered, many medicinal plants were sent to Europe by America. There was a medicinal tree named Cana cana. Its bark was used to cure high fever, so it was also exported to Europe. But there were some dishonest exporters in America. They replaced the bark of Cana cana with the bark of another tree, the tree named cinchona. So they started to sell cinchona in place of Cana cana. People of Europe found that the cinchona tree was even better than Cana cana for curing malaria. After then, it was discovered that there is a chemical substance present in cinchona bark which worked for curing malaria. The substance was called quinine, which was the only cure for malaria from 17th to 20th century.